So I'm going to have to ask you to wear your wrist strap for this final video. It's going to get crazy.
I mean, I always wear my Livestrong wrist strap, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, thank God.
I could really use a little digital leisure right about now.
Well, you're going to get it here in Fast Draw Showdown. So, there is no arcade emulation for this game, and the only PC version I could find was Russian. So, we're using the WiiWare version of this game to show it off, but it's effectively the same.
Uh-huh.
They were so ahead of their time filming in portrait mode.
Yeah, it's a nice little, adapted for touchscreen. That's good.
Yeah.
Also, I could not help but notice that the title screen had her interactive for it, so is Nancy Drew in this game?
So her interactive was the spin-off of American Laser Games, specifically to make games for girls. And when American Laser Games finally went under, her interactive, I believe, ended up with a number of the rights for American Laser Games titles.
Huh.
I just love the idea that it's like, finally, games for her.
That's it. So this is the final game that American Laser Games would produce. There was another one in production called Shootout at Old Tucson, but all that exists of it is like a 3-level 3DO demo that doesn't actually have any content to it.
Man, American Laser Games just started panicking after looking at their financials and just thought, let's make 4 fucking cowboy games. Let's just fucking do it.
Yeah, and all of the last games came out in 1 year. 1994 was their last chance to get it big. Presumably a lot of it came from the 3DO technology stuff, but ultimately, yeah, it just didn't work out. So this game is a little different from the other ones. A lot of the other ones were very narrative focused. This one is just a series of fast draw competitions with randomly selected characters.
So this is a weirdly... I don't know how common it is, but they're definitely not the first FMV video game company to do this. The Trilobite, the ones who made The Seventh Guest, this is basically the exact same trajectory they went down. So Seventh Guest did really, really well. 11th Hour really did not. And then they made a mini game puzzle collection, and then they went under.
Damn.
Yeah, I feel in general, a ton of these companies just don't get that if you're already doing kind of badly, you shouldn't flood the markets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an overcompensation that I think kind of led to some issues. Though, so at the beginning you saw that it was introduced by Wes Flowers, who is in the previous game as a cameo. This is sort of also kind of Gallagher's Gallery. This is about Wes Flowers, who at the time was the best quick draw in the country, maybe even the world.
So what happened to him?
Well, he's dead now.
Oh, did somebody finally shoot him?
Yeah.
Are we playing as Wes, or...?
We're not playing as Wes. Wes has sort of set this up as a series of challenges to see if you can eventually take him on. Again, kind of like Gallagher's Gallery.
This is cool.
But yeah, so, it's sort of charming because it, gives you a chance to sort of, get the classic American laser game one-liner without ever having to, flesh out a character or have really any other ideas. It could just be one-liners that they wrote for.
This one's me.
I like this idea of okay, now shoot Laurel and Hardy. So, what kind of Wiimote accessory are you rocking with? I know that there are a lot of plastic guns. There's of course the classic Zapper, but I personally prefer the Nyko.
I don't use any of the accessories. I feel like they're basically the steroids of light gun games. So, I like to go, I'm pure, right?
Oh, you're emulating this? You're emulating this on a mouse? You
No.
liar. You fibber.
Chorps doesn't want to acknowledge that he spent $100 on the Resident Evil Magnum controller.
It's true. I'm actually doing this on the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller for the GameCube.
You retrofitted the Wu-Tang GameCube controller.
Right, yeah, I put a motion sensor in it. By which I mean I taped a candle to it.
You're throwing it at your screen every time.
Yeah. And don't worry, they found a way to still be racist in this game.
Oh, I did not worry about that. I figured they had that shit on lock.
Yeah. Yeah, so the setup basically is this: is each round you get 6 opponents that you need to quick draw against. And any person can show up at any level of the game. The difference is how long it pauses between them pulling out their gun and them shooting you. And as you can see on the left, like, it's constantly focused on, like, high scores, basically. Like, you're constantly comparing your time on one opponent with yourself.
Well, I mean, like, it was designed for an arcade, so you were supposed to be competing with other people.
Right. But, you know, at home, you're really just comparing it with you and maybe, like, a friend you brought over to play this for some reason.
At least there's positive female representation in this game. Thanks, Her Interactive. They added that.
There was.
That was their part for this game.
This is right up your alley.
I think that's just Gallagher.
Put it back in the holster.
So, if you pull out your Wiimote too early, Wes Flowers will yell at you about holstering your gun. So yeah, the whole time you have to keep it down, pointed away from the screen until they start reaching for their gun, which does make it, like, a bit tougher as a game. It's not like the previous arcade ones where, like, you could just point at the screen the whole time.
I don't know if it counts as grabbing your gun if, like, they can't even get it out of the holster. I feel like you just murdered them.
I don't like your look.
I think that's their fault, not mine. Right? Like, if you're gonna challenge me to a quick draw, you better be ready to handle your gun. It's kind of sad, though, like, it seems like they wrote, like, 800 concepts for Mad Dog McCree with all these other, like, character names and stuff, and just couldn't find anything to do with them, and that's where they show up here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wish they did this instead of, like, the cutaways from the Mad Dog games. Like, they give you, like, a character to shoot for the cutaway.
Yeah, like, that's the thing about, like, the cutaways in the previous games. It's just sort of, like, you're put in, like, a random situation with no context. Here, at the very least, like, yeah, you're, like, shooting a guy.
So you know how, like, I think it was Namco Bandai that had, like, the patent on being able to play, like, a mini game like Galaga or whatever in loading screens?
Yeah.
How about just fucking Mad Dog McCree showdowns and loading screens for Assassin's Creed Valhalla? I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cool. You have to shoot, like, a lightning bolt at them.
No, it's just in the Wild West. You're just shooting dudes with a revolver.
Yeah,
Doesn't
the
have
next
to
Call
fit.
of Juarez game, it's set in modern times, but you still have to take down a Mad Dog McCree.
Right.
I said deliveries in the rear.
That's what she
like-
said?
Here's your chance.
Okay, come on now, Tayok.
Or you could imagine, like, Red Dead Redemption 3, like, goes in this direction for, like, side missions, right? Like, I gotta have a quick draw against Coroner Casey.
One body to go.
I mean, that's basically what happens in the prequel Red Dead Revolver, because that game is fucking insane.
The best.
Oh,
In Red Dead
What do you know?
Revolver, like, you're just kind of like shooting up a gang, and then the gang leader comes out, and it's like a giant fat dude with like 2 dynamite sticks in his hand that just yells, "I'm gonna blow you up real good."
I mean, there's a great part in Red Dead Revolver where you're playing as like a slick Englishman called like Jack Swift or something, and you have to fight like a voodoo man.
Great.
Yeah, that game is cool. Like, I don't see American laser games coming up with characters as great as those.
This is convenient.
Yeah, they kind of had like... They have like one archetype down, and that's sort of it.
This feels like if I was watching an anime that was all eye catches.
Oh yeah, I get you. So this is the last light gun arcade game they made, but they had like other games coming out at the same time as well. They did that that Naughty Dog like Mortal Kombat clone. I think it's Way of the Warrior.
Shaky Jake?
Oh,
Yeah, that's the one.
Way of the Warrior, that's like the fighting game where the Scottish man like throws fireballs from his dick, right?
I think so. I think that's the one, yes.
I think Way of the Warrior is a different game. Well, no, it is the Scottish man with the dick. But that is not the Naughty Dog game, I want to say.
Okay. You know, they had like some other stuff coming out. They had some like 3D arcade games as well as like their Her Interactive stuff that was coming out at the time, like their FMV McKinsey & Co. game, which was basically like calling up boys to figure out like a date to prom, I think.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool arcade game.
Yeah.
Imagine if one of the boys was Mad Dog McCree!
Oh my god. Or like you're calling a boy up and it suddenly turns out to be the prospector. He's like, I need your help, and Mackenzie has to pull up a gun.
Yeah, but he throws a bottle in the air, and it's like, if you can't shoot it, he won't date you.
Well, you failed your chance at prom. Here, have another one.
What if I did take your sister out?
Oh, this guy's definitely in Mackenzie & Co. That's the lore here. We're Mackenzie's brother. Yeah, like after this, Her Interactive did that. They did the Vampire Diaries FMV adventure game.
Cool, I actually know about that.
Oh, why aren't we playing that?
Based on the books, I believe. I think at the time the TV show hadn't come out.
Right, nobody had thought to interview a vampire yet.
That's right. Different series, but thank you. And then eventually Her Interactive became like the major company, I guess, of American Laser Games. Like Her Interactive bought out American Laser Games and then went on to produce the Nancy Drew series of adventure games, which is very beloved.
Still ongoing, right?
Yeah. They had a game come out, I think, 2 years ago. Like, it's still alive and well.
Best.
They never went back to FMV, though, you know, which is sort of a shame. I feel like, if nothing else, like, from the past few years, there's been, like, a revival of FMV, especially in adventure games. You see, like, your Contradictions, your Dr. Deckers, your shape-shifting detectives, things like that.
Yeah, I feel like that has sort of started dying down a little bit again, though.
Yeah, because those games didn't necessarily do too well. Like, they kind of became, like, cult hits, but that's the extent of it.
Yeah, none of them really, like, broke out, except for maybe Contradiction, and I feel even then it's only sort of in, like, a, like, niche context.
Yeah, like, Contradiction did, like, much better than you would really have expected a game like that to do. But then, what was the... I think it was, like, The Dark Side of the Moon came out, like, pretty recently that had a bunch of the actors from Contradiction and very much, like, built on that. And from what I understand, like, and also having, like, seen it myself, like, that was kind of like lightning in a bottle kind of thing with Contradiction, and it's not really been anything like that since.
They also did the recent Tex Murphy around the same time.
Right,
I forgot there was a recent Tex Murphy.
Can I buy you a drink?
We still need to LP all of those games.
It's true. Yeah, I guess, like, yeah, FMV, like, comes and goes as a fad, but, like, I guess it never, like, stays for long.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, American Laser Games is sort of, like, the first example of that, where, like, they really captured something special early on and were never quite able to reach the same heights ever again. And so they constantly try to, like, iterate on themselves based on things I guess they think were successful about it, when it wasn't just the gimmick is fascinating.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was just FMV in general. Like, again, Trilobite was a great example of that. Like, all of the different developers that tried to ape Myst, like, there were a whole fucking lot of those. And like, that was very much just, there was a real moment in time there where it was really exciting.
Yeah.
Because so many of them missed the boat.
Right.
Fuck off. Anyway, remember like those years of like in the early 2000s in which you could just go to a store and probably see like an actor from Star Trek in a Myst clone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was so cool. That was the life, baby.
Like, all the budget just went to getting, like, one really big person to put on your box.
Remember when there was a FMV game where the actors, like, counted people like Cher and Christopher Reeves? And also Steven Tyler from Aerosmith?
Oh my god, this sounds cool.
Yeah, it's called Revolution X.
What game was that, Taeyok?
9 Last Resort.
Holy shit.
Wow, was that written by Uchikoshi?
Is that like part of the Seventh Guests?
That was just a Myst clone also.
Great. I feel like it was at the same time where you had, like, Tim Curry in, like, every video game, because there were the Frankenstein game?
Through the Eyes of the Monster?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And then at the same time, I don't remember if Tim Curry was in it, but there was also that Titanic FMV game.
Yeah.
Where the best ending was that you also stopped World War II from ever happening.
Yeah, by making Hitler a successful artist.
Yeah. It's fucking insane
God.
shit.
Yeah, I remember that now. That was cool. Like, you can really tell that those Titanic guys never saw Hitler's paintings, because I saw one where he just put a window that was, like, blocked by some fucking stairs.
Well, he was designing the blueprints for Grover House.
Oh my god.
Been looking at my wife.
I don't want to kill this man. He loves his wife.
Nice shooting.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Nice shooting.
it was a different time.
Yeah.
And the wife guys were not to be trusted.
Wes Flowers, however, real fucking into it, though.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't shoot an unarmed man, would you?
He is tricking us.
Here's your chance to prove you're one of the best.
So, another annoying thing about this game is that if you miss one of the quick draws in your series of 6, you just have to do the whole thing over again. Like, they'll make you play through all 6, and then they'll say, too bad, fucking start over.
Nice shot. Now host that iron and try the band.
I love these guys.
They could have had their own sitcom, I think.
You're one of the best.
Honestly, yes. Yeah, so there are 8 rounds total of this. So we are reaching the point where we're gonna have to fight off Wes Flowers, but also, at some point they just run out of guys. Like, it's randomized just like the other games, so it's just like, sometimes you just run into the same one again. Oh my god, he had a second hit that time. He tricked you.
So, this fulfills the promise of Gallagher's Gallery, where we get to kill the star at the end of the game, right?
Yes. Like, that's all we're building up to. We've killed all these people.
So, Chirps, I'm not ready to say this is as bad as Action Max, but I really do feel this is kind of approaching just like the meaninglessness of those games.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it wastes fucking time, for sure.
Like, is this the last round? Are we done after this?
Yeah, this is the last round.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a full 8 rounds of 6 people.
Cool, Marm.
Report to the principal's office!
Here's your
Yeah.
chance to prove you're
So
one of
they
the
were
best.
just missing, like, one guy. They just had to
Yeah.
reuse one person.
Yeah, but that time you had to shoot him twice, it was different. But now it's time to go up against Wes Flowers.
You're pretty good. But are you good enough to take on the fastest?
Got
This is
him.
how he died, right, Sharps?
Yeah,
You edited that.
I didn't. And so, after we saved the West from every outlaw, we've also become the greatest gunslinger in the world. There's nowhere else to go now.
They're just, like, taking his wallet now.
Hey, he's not gonna need it. But so, that was the showcase of light gun games' finest?
Yeah, kind of.
Fastest, for sure.
I mean, you didn't beat the record on Wes Flowers, so not really, no.
Some of America's best media.